Well, good morning. It is great to be with you all and great to be here with my esteemed colleagues, Dr. Marvin Carr from the Walmart Center for Racial Equity, as well as Mayor Jermaine Wilson. In addition to his role at Prison Fellowship, Jermaine Wilson serves as the mayor for Leavenworth, Kansas. And so we are going to jump into a conversation on first and second chances. Hopefully by the end of this, if you don't know what we mean by those terms, you will. And to get us started, Dr. Carr, why don't you share a little bit about the Walmart Center for Racial Equity, what you all are about, and your story. How'd you get there?
Well, thank you for having me. I mean, I love the Prison Fellowship and their work. And so following the murder of George Floyd, Walmart and the Walmart Foundation made a public commitment of investing $100 million over 5 years in 4 important areas to address systemic racism in the country's healthcare, workforce, education, finance, and criminal justice systems. And so I lead the company and the foundation's investments in criminal justice with a specific focus in really youth and deflection. And so prior to Walmart, I'm a recovering academic and policymaker. And so I worked in the Obama administration, the White House, around the work of my brother's keeper, and particularly with a focus on STEM education. It's really informed my work as a grant maker and a person in philanthropy. And so that's really the journey to where we are now.
Thank you for that, Dr. Carr. And I know that a lot of the grant making you've done, you looked at the criminal justice reform space, saw there were a lot of people investing in second chances, but also felt this tug to make sure we were also investing in prevention.
Yes,
and so share a little bit about your vision for that and why you chose Prison Fellowship as your first grantee to represent that space.
Yeah. I mean, so many people look at the criminal justice reform space as this linear spectrum from prevention to aftercare. But because of my lived experiences, because of where I'm from Detroit, so shout out to the D. What up, though? Okay. Yeah. I know that is an insufficient lens, that it is an intergenerational, intercommunal cycle that is harmful.
Yes.
And like many things, if we don't stop that cycle at the beginning, my grandmother would say you're just putting sugar on boo-boo. She might not have said boo-boo though, okay? But, and so that's really important for us to really think about the fact that if we give a parent a second chance, that oftentimes we're giving their child a first chance to reach their full potential.
Amen. Mayor Wilson, I'm going to come to you next. I know you well, and I'm not the least bit surprised that this man is the mayor of his city, but I bet if we rewound a bit to the lowest point in your life, some people would be surprised you're in public service. So why don't you take us to that point? Tell us about your journey to get here.
Yep. I want to first start off thanking you all for coming out and attending today. It's an honor and a privilege to be here.
Amen.
I grew up in poverty and was exposed to crime at an early age, which led to my 3 years of incarceration. During my time I was in prison, I joined Prison Fellowship. The program taught me the importance of character development. While I was in the program, I learned the importance of thinking. I was able to transform my negative thinking into positive thinking. The program helped me to not see myself as a failure, as a mistake, but I was able to see myself as a father, a success, and a leader in my community. When those prison doors opened up, I rushed out, but everything that I had learned, I applied. I began to serve my community. I began to help individuals who were returning back to their communities find employment. Everything that I had learned, I applied. And because I was making a positive impact on my community encouraged me to run for public office. I was able to get my criminal record expunged, and because I have a positive effect on my community, they encouraged me and pushed me to run for office. Didn't have any political experience, but I was serving to make a difference, and the position came. I ran for office, received the most votes, and became the mayor of Leavenworth, Kansas. That is the true power of a second chance.
That is. I think Mayor Wilson is a great example of second chances. I know we've been able to hear from Halim, who opened us up this week. And also, I know we have a special guest in the audience. Alice Marie Johnson is with us, who received clemency thanks to Kim Kardashian, and is celebrating her 5-year of freedom. Miss Alice, great to have you here. So there is a return on investment for second chances. But Jermaine, if I were to ask you to rewind your life and think about your childhood, and especially with what Dr. Carr through the Walmart Center for Racial Equity is investing in at Prison Fellowship, it's our First Chance Network. We're in 5 cities: Atlanta, Baltimore, Chicago, Dallas, Houston, and we are investing in the lives of children who have an incarcerated parent, not only through our programs at Prison Fellowship Angel Tree, but we're uniting with other nonprofits to provide all sorts of holistic interventions to them. And Jermaine, if you had had the opportunity to be in one of these cities to get those interventions, and you know what I'm talking about, do you think your story would have been any different?
Yes, without a doubt. I truly believe the things that you're exposed to will affect the way that you grow. If I had an opportunity to be exposed to First Chance Network and participate in some of the summer camp programs, mentoring programs, STEM, and even have the college experience, the direction of my life would have been completely different. If I would have been given that first chance, I would have never needed a second chance at life.
That's the goal, right? We want to make sure kids don't need a second chance. They really get that true first chance. And so to that end, Dr. Carr, if I come to you and we're thinking about programs, strategies that you find effective in either the first chance space or the second chance space, what are you seeing that's working out there?
So I think what's super important about this space is that it's not about just programming, right?
Yeah.
We've had just programming, just activities for many, many, many years. So what's unique about the grant and about the program and First Chances is it is super focused. And so across the world, many of us focus on opportunity youth as a focus of our interventions. But that's a very broad, demographic. So opportunity youth are young Americans, 16 to 24, out of school and out of work. And part of the problem, I think, both as folks who are making investments in social impact, it's very difficult to measure effectiveness. You don't know who you're affecting. And so this project allows us to say that young people with parents in prison are 6 times more likely than their peers to go to prison themselves. And so how about we create specific interventions for them? So that's the first part. But again, that's still insufficient. To what end? And so it's very important that these interventions center a couple things, right? Meaning making, well-being, purpose. That's beyond a project, beyond job training, beyond mentoring. It is infused with these belonging and meaning making and purpose focus areas that really drives those things. So the awesome thing about the program that you all have masterfully put together is that you're thinking about the holistic health of the child, right? They may not have access to dental service, and so you're bringing them dental service, right? You're bringing them access to clean clothes. You're also connecting their parents and their caregivers to resources to help ensure that they do not continue the cycle of incarceration. So I think that's really important on a programmatic side.
Absolutely, and I just want to commend you. We get to work with a coalition of grantees that Dr. Carr has put together, and they're such a diverse group of organizations. And I know, personally, for Prison Fellowship is a faith-based organization. I was thinking of what our poet in residence shared earlier. We have separation can really fuel injustice, and I think what we need more of in this country is a willingness to come together of different perspectives. And a lot of times, if we do that and we can have respectful conversation, we can actually find common ground, and we can do so much more together for the common good when that happens. So I just want to commend Walmart for their work in that space. And Jermaine, I'd love to hear from you. What are some programs, strategies that you think of in terms of what you're seeing in the field of effective first and second chances?
So as the mission ambassador for Prison Fellowship, outside of my work as the mayor, we get the opportunity to be able to provide programs that support first and second chance. One of the first programs I would like to address is the Angel Tree program that focuses on strengthening families and serving children on behalf of the incarcerated parent. During my 3 years I was incarcerated, Angel Tree was able to serve my son. He was 8 months old when I went to prison. Just because I'm in prison doesn't stop me from being a father. As a father, we want to provide for our children. Even though I wasn't able to physically be there on behalf of my son, Angel Tree was able to fill in that gap. They were able to serve my son for 3 years. And we all know how kids love toys, right? Well, during Christmas time, Angel Tree made sure that my son did not miss a Christmas. Even though I wasn't physically there, Angel Tree was able to provide that gift on my behalf, which encouraged me as a father because I'm still able to provide. One of the other things I would like to address is second chance.
Yeah.
Prison Fellowship are second chance experts. We are the founders of Second Chance Month. And during the month of April, we focus on bringing awareness to individuals throughout our nation and talk about the importance of second chances. Why second chances are important? We advocate to lawmakers and leaders in the community. We advocate to break the cycles and make sure that we are doing everything that we can to break those barriers that are preventing individuals to move forward with their lives that have been justice involved. As my brother Dr. Carr stated, once you give you're able to give a first chance to a child by providing a second chance to their family. And that is going to break generational curses, poverty, and crime.
Amen. It's a great point, Jermaine, and a lot of this work in the second chance space, we're doing it in the halls of state governments, the federal government. Prison Fellowship has been at this for nearly 50 years. And we also, though, have been seeing a movement in the business community, Dr. Carr, right? And there's a movement for second chance hiring. And so talk to us a little bit about the business sense of these policies. It's not just about filling these needs, right? There is also a need that's being filled for businesses.
Yeah, I'm going to start somewhere else first, and that is, I'm not going to get too deep, but at Dr. King's funeral, Mahalia Jackson sang my mama's favorite hymn, "If I Can Help Somebody," right? If I can help somebody as I pass along, then my living shall not be in vain. And one of the things about Walmart is a very, very, very simple goal statement. We help people save money so that they can live better lives. And no matter what part of Walmart's vision, helping people live better lives is essential to the success of Walmart. So in communities where people feel safe walking through their Sam's Club parking lot into their store, where they feel safe and secure walking from their homes to the neighborhood markets, when they feel safe working in stores with associates, and in the communities where the full access to the talent in the community is available to Walmart, Walmart thrives and the community thrives. And so it is the shared value of the back and forth, the regenerative work of the community that's essential for Walmart's success. Walmart thrives when the community thrives. And this is an essential part, particularly in the communities where Walmart is in, right? If we have parents in the home being sure to match and support the entire family with a job and with resources, of course, that's more folks coming into our 6,000 stores, but also that's more support for the community to thrive and to be well.
It's a virtuous cycle, that's for sure.
Yes.
Well, I want to give you each a chance to give a last word. And so, Jermaine, I'll ask you one closing question. We've got a lot of people here who care deeply about social impact, corporate responsibility. And if you were to give us a word of encouragement on how we can all do our part to help reduce the stigma that faces those who have a criminal record, what would you say?
From my experience, one thing that I've learned, we invest a lot of time in preparing returning citizens for society. I think it is important that we spend more time preparing society for returning citizens. That is really, really important. And my brother Halim said it best yesterday. It is important that we start to use love. Love will unite us. Love will help us to be able to see the individuals that are coming out of prisons. They are not felons. They are not failures. They are not mistakes. They are people. They are human beings. Love will unite us. Love will unite us as a community, and love will unite us as a nation. It is important that we operate in love at all times.
Mayor Wilson for president.
Second chance smile, y'all.
All right, Dr. Carr, last word for you. If we've got a lot of folks who are interested in investing, they're part of philanthropy in this room. If they're interested in, maybe they've never stepped into the space of first chances or second chances, and they want to take that next step or they want to grow what they're doing, what would be the next step you'd recommend?
So one of the exciting things about being a grant maker is you get to test things, and you get to help your grantees and your grant partners figure out innovative ways to sustain their work. So one of the exciting parts of this grant is funds from Walmart to help Prison Fellowship start the First and Second Chances Philanthropy Council, which we hope will be a group of super involved, super interested folks from the funding world and all types of philanthropy, family foundations, individual givers, corporate foundations, traditional public foundations, who can come together across the country to help us solve these issues, not just for kids with parents in prison, but for all young people who we know, right, because of their lived experiences, because of the communities, because of the systems that they can't control, are on their way to prison. And we know that. Data tells us that.
Absolutely. I'm so glad you said that. And I know on the screen we have a QR code. If you're interested in learning more about the launch of the First and Second Chances Philanthropy Council, which Prison Fellowship will be co-chairing with Walmart and Dr. Carr, we would love to connect with you. You can sign up there to get some more information, connect with our team. We're going to be hosting our first ever summit for the Philanthropy Council this September. It's going to include a morning doing a STEM day with children of the incarcerated in Houston. We'll have a luncheon where we talk about justice issues. And then the afternoon, we will take you to prison and you'll get a chance to meet with some of the men in our Prison Fellowship Academy, similar to the one that Jermaine experienced, and hear from their perspectives on first and second chances. We promise it's a visit. We will let you out, and we look forward to connecting with you. If you're a nonprofit in the room and a partner and you'd like to talk about collaboration with us, you can also shoot us an email through that QR code as well. Dr. Carr, thank you for investing in first and second chances. Mayor Wilson, thank you for being a living example of the return on investment in second chances. Would you just join me in thanking our panel? Thank you.